Opa! E aí, falar em português é até engraçado. Teste, teste, teste.
I'm unmuted, and hopefully people can hear me. Can somebody confirm on the chat that you can hear me, please? Let's wait for somebody to confirm. I can hear you well. Thank you so much, Seb. Yes, we can. Thank you, Sandy. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Jay Santos, and we are here on the Anything World Headquarters TV studios. It is super cold today, so I'm wearing my coat. And today's a very special stream. Of course, we're online every Wednesday, but today we have a very special, very happy stream. And we are celebrating and sharing with you the launching of World Warriors Zombie Typocalypse. And we have very special guests here with me. I'll let them introduce themselves. Who's gonna go first?
I can go first. Hello, everybody. So I'm Dan Zaidan, and I worked on this awesome game that we're about to show off. And we're going to talk all the stories that happened, all the challenges, and how we overcame it. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And excited to be on stream live in the Anything World channel.
Great, thanks a lot, Dan. Thanks for joining us. And we also have Lucas.
Hello, everyone. Just say I'm a bit shy to be here with you guys. It's amazing, but I'm here to share a bit of our story with the game. So
Brilliant.
I'm Lucas.
And last but not least, we have Garrett. Garrett?
Sorry about that. I just gave an introduction about being up north, but my microphone was muted. But enough about that day. So my name is Garrett. I was also a developer on this game, and just like the fact that the game has dropped, so has my accent. Happy to be here and answering everybody's questions about it, and sharing it with everyone.
Great, thanks a lot. Thank you very much again for being here. And just to give a bit of context and to explain what I'm going to do next. Before joining Anything World, I worked for 6 years at Unity, and I had the opportunity of meet a lot of developers that created games that I admired and played a lot, and I never missed an opportunity of being a fanboy, and I'm not going to stop today. I just want to say that I have played so much Beat Trip Beat back on the Wii. I mean, hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. It is one of my favorite games of all times, and it is a joy to be able to be with somebody from Choice Provisions here on this stream. Just say I love what you guys do, and yeah, thank you so much. And I played a lot of Tharsis as well, but Tharsis aggravated me a lot. So I had fun with Beat Repeat, but Tharsis just made me mad. So
And I feel like that's one of the beautiful things about Tharsis in particular is it persists and it aggravates.
Yeah, exactly.
And you need to do the same to beat Tharsis.
exactly. Remember when I on a GDC I spoken with one of the creators of FTL, and I told him, I said, hey, you know what? I hate your game. And I said, why? He said, because I keep dying and I keep dying. I said, yeah, but that's the fun part. And I said, well, so you say. but that's the same. That's the same with Tharsis. Cool. So enough chit chat. We have the game running, and I'm gonna play it for a while. I must say that it is. I played the game a little bit and I loved it so far, because I was a huge fan of Typing of the Dead as well. I remember I was at a LAN party one time, so it was like a full weekend LAN party. We started on Friday afternoon, wrapped up Sunday afternoon, and I think I spent about 80% of the time in the LAN party playing Typing of the Dead multiplayer. So this game scratches a very specific itch for me. So I'm gonna type play, and I'm going to start. So while I play, I mean, I would like to, have a chat with you guys. You are the creators. You are the brilliant minds behind this game. Uh, and so I prepared some questions to ask you, and to learn more about the game and about your process and about how you guys work. And I want to start with maybe the most obvious one. You know, both GameCraft and Choice Provisions. I mean, you'll see the catalog of games that you guys developed, that worked with. And it's very varied. You have a lot of different games under your belt. We talked about Beat Repeat and Tarsis, which couldn't be more different. And I mentioned Typing of the Dead, which I believe it is a strong influence for this game. But how did you came up with the idea of zombie Typocalypse?
So, I do have a little bit of history with the House of the Dead myself. The first time I played Typing of the Dead was on my brother's Dreamcast, and I thought it was just the silliest thing because you take a silly game and make it sillier. As far as how we came up with this particular game, it started off with us iterating on various prototypes. So we wanted to make something with Anything World, and rather than just leverage the art assets that it makes available, we wanted to take advantage of the runtime stuff. So we thought the point of the game is going to be pulling things out of thin air that the user comes up with and using them in some way. And so we tried a couple of prototypes originally. And then we were spitballing actually with Gordon at one point about other things we could do with the concept. And then we just thought, why don't we just make a zombie shooting game, like a rail shooter, and you just type stuff and it flings it at zombies. And then Lucas started prototyping it, and then we just ran with it.
Cool.
Yeah, and the great thing about this game in particular, I think, is that it kind of makes you think outside the box as much as you can, and think about new words and vocabularies, and then you see that in action. I think that's a surprise that Typing of the Dead didn't have. So I think that was a big change, and that makes me very excited about this game in particular.
Yeah, there's a creative element to it, but it also does something that a friend of mine said. It makes you forget the English language.
just like it just happened with me, a word starting with O is just
ogre.
Ogre.
I wonder if it'll summon Shrek, because it might.
Nice, very nice. And this game, it caused me a bit of a problem when I first joined Anything World. So just for context, my it's very hard to play, and I'm gonna pause. I won't be able to talk. This game caused me a lot of problem when I first joined because I'm a developer relations here, if you will. So my role is to show what we're able to do and tell people, hey, look, this is amazing. You should be using Anything World in your games. Look how easy it is to how easy it is to use. Look how what amazing stuff that you can create, right? And when I first joined, Gordon told me about, we have this weekly stream where we talk a little bit about Anything World, play games, and then I said, well, we should develop a game on stream. And I said, yeah, absolutely. What do you want to do? And and I told him, you know what? I think we could do a game like Typing of the Dead. And Gordon can confirm this story. I'm not lying. I said, yeah, we could do like a Typing of the Dead. I said, nah, yeah, you cannot do a Typing of the Dead. And I said, why not? I said, yeah, I can't tell you yet. I said, okay. So when I first saw the game, I said, that's why I cannot make a Typing of the Dead. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if the people watching are familiar with what exactly it is that's going on in this game, but what it is a rail shooter like the Typing of the Dead, but rather than type explicit words that it spells out for you, you see that it'll give you requirements for a word. So you can type any word that, for example, satisfies a prompt of 7 or more letters with an N in it. So whatever you can think of that meets those criteria, you can type it in, and then the game will try and summon that object and then launch it to defeat the zombies.
Which is a lot of fun. Oh, this one I was practicing earlier and I loved it. Oh my god.
Oh, it says ending in R.
Ending in R, yeah. I love how uranium just shows you massive
A bomb.
I mean, I already. J, joint. There you go.
That's not what I was expecting.
I know, right? Yeah. And I really starting with V. And do T.
Try
V is,
viola
I say V is a tricky one. I feel like
or violin. Yeah.
feminine genitalia typically works the best.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh. On the trailer, on Steam, on one point of the trailer, oh my god, a zombie is killed with a nipple, and I tweeted, yeah, you can, in this game you can kill zombies with a nipple, and somebody said, oh, that's.
Yes, you can throw literally everything. I mean, everything. So
That's a
that's
bit,
a part of it.
and the nipple is a very, asexual, nondescript nipple,
I think it's an egg, right? It's a fried
Yeah,
egg.
it's
Yeah,
an
it's
egg.
an egg.
It looks like an egg. There you go. Eggs starting by Yeti. Let's go.
Oh,
Is
nice
that a
one.
polar bear?
It is a polar bear. It is a very hairy Yeti. So, um, so the two companies worked on game, like GameCraft and Choice Provisions, and Choice Provisions is based in Brazil. I never what have you never seen, Venom? Let us know. You said I've never seen that. Yeah, tell us on chat what you have never seen. So yeah, GameCraft in Brazil, Choice Provision. Where is Choice Provision based exactly, Garrett?
If you're asking me, Ontario.
Ontario.
It's based in Santa Cruz, California.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. Of course. Now I remember the time zone, the time zone difference. And
Yes.
and of course, all the questions I'm asking to all of you, feel free to just hop in and answer. How does working on such different geographic locations and time zones, how do you feel that affects the game development process? What are the challenges, if any? What are the benefits, if any? What, in your perspective, how does that impact the process in general?
I think the biggest benefit is I got to see, at this moment, Garrett and Jay as well, freezing code, and we're pretty much chilling at this hot Brazilian summer. I think that's the biggest benefit. Jokes aside, I think it is challenging, especially because, for example, Garrett is behind us a little bit in terms of hours, and then the other folks from Choice is even further behind in terms of time zone. So, for example, we worked with them mostly in our afternoon, and they worked with us in their morning. So we have this limited time window where we can chat. But the good thing about that is that we have different times to focus as well, and we can split a lot of the tasks in these moments. It is, I think, it's a good challenge because we're able to do things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. I think that's the biggest magic behind it, right? I mean, how could we develop this game with such a diverse, team and companies and people and technology if we weren't able to do these things, from different geographical locations and so on?
Now, from my perspective, the advantage so I'm in Ontario, and the advantage of working with folks from Santa Cruz is that I do not have to wake up in the morning because their workday starts right around lunchtime. So there's a benefit to that. There are like Dan said, there's challenges in that we have a smaller overlap than studios all working in the same time zone. So we kind of have to shift priorities about like what is a collaborative task versus what is something I can do in a bubble, and then we just work around with that.
I am sucking so bad in this game. I was
And a
doing
cool
really
thing
well.
about this game in particular and working remotely and like in different time zones, that because we prototyped a lot with the technology before, we created several different cool prototypes with Anything World before we set out to do this game in particular. We were able to kind of do that in parallel. So different people did different prototypes, and then we played each other's games and experimented a little bit on how we could make a cool thing. with the technology. So that was another thing that we were more easily able to do in this situation.
I like how the soccer ball was labeled football.
That was a
That's
Lucas thing.
There's something for the folks
That's a
down in
Garrett
England.
thing.
No, that was actually me. I did that on purpose. There's
One of my favorite parts in the game is then when you fire an animal, like I fired a goat a little while ago, and I'm fighting the boss, and the goat just casually passed on the screen.
yeah, it's just doing its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
There it goes again. The other thing I like about these boss fights, so the boss fights are a lot more on rails than most of the game, where it's just it tells you specifically what to type, right? However, anything that you've summoned previously in the level then becomes something that can be summoned in the middle of the boss fight. So if you were to example only summon animals throughout the whole level, or like planes, like birds, goats, cows, mice, whatever, and then when you get to the boss fight, everything you start shooting then is alive, and it just becomes chaotic because you have all these farm animals running around, crows circling the sky, and stuff like that.
That sounds like an interesting challenge. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try firing as my. Oh, hey, look at that! Oh, I got 2 hours. 2 hours achievement. There you go.
Yeah, and a cool thing about that is that that's one way to show off technology, right? Because we could just throw the models, which is like the first version that we created of the game. We type a word and then we find that word and then you show up. But having the behavior of that thing interact with the game and the world, such another level, of cool things that we are able to do with the technology that we really had to include with the game. So that's why, being able to summon animals and things that will actually do things in the world, and to see that anything that you come up with, that's extra cool.
Like this guy, for example, is just going to walk around now.
Yeah, this is brilliant. This is brilliant.
If you type under, you'll get them both.
This is the prompt I hate the most, is the 5-letter, 6-letter prompt, because, as you said, it makes you forget the language, and
you can teach like a cat. Let's see how many animals we can start getting.
Starts with I.
Well, that's a tricky one.
Not an animal, but you do what you can. A rat.
A fox, maybe?
Yeah, a rat, fox. Something ending in R. A car, because cars will get up and drive around as well. They don't have to be alive.
What about a boar? Maybe you'll get a lion. There you go.
Oh, you do get a lion.
Perfect. Oh, that was so perfect.
Yes. Bucket.
Ending in A. Anaconda.
Oh no! Oh god.
Arg!
Bananas.
Yeah, bananas.
Banana.
Panda is one of my favorites.
Oh no! Just because I said 6-shooter.
Now, well, pandas is a 6-letter word. Zebras, 6-letter word. We got a few that we can work with.
The S
I should have
really
shot the bucket first. Pizza.
Oh my god. Oh no.
That pizza is like wiggling.
Whales. Oh, but
nice one.
there you go.
The S is a wild card to get more euro later, right?
Oh. Ah no, I missed the cookie.
What about quail? Does quail give you a... Oh, wow, I didn't realize that was going to give you just a crowd of people.
Oh, quail, there you go. Ending in N. An animal.
Yeah, an animal ending in N. See, you forget the language. Just type stuff to buy time sometimes, Like, if it's not going to show up, at least it buys you time. So if you do think of something that meets the criteria, but it's either an abstract concept or there's just no model that we can find for it, we'll shoot a tornado at the enemies, and that knocks them back. It gives you a little bit more time to think of something else.
Yes. Yeah, I really like this. Snake.
It's so small, too.
So direct.
I just every single
like
kid.
a slap in the face.
Snake slap. Oh, goose. That's a good one. Get even more candidate. Oh, that goose does not move around, though.
And
some of them do, some of them don't.
Marching. Well, And how did you heard about anything World in the first place? How did you guys got in touch with the technology?
Oh, so
Well,
Gordon is like a long friend of Choice, right?
yeah, I just say Choice and Gordon are long-term coworkers, colleagues, collaborators.
Gordon is the he developed Drive, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, yeah. It's yet another game that I love. It is pretty good. So this part is one of my favorites as well. It's like the zombies wearing bottles with drawn faces in front of them.
Oh, what about the drawn faces, Lucas? Do you have any story about that? How did that came to be?
Yeah, it's because this armor the zombies are wearing is the only armors in the games that covers the zombie face. So I had to improvise something.
Of course, I mean that makes complete sense. You know?
Yeah, you always want to be able to see the zombies themselves. You know which way they're looking.
This the drawn face, it reminded me on the game that we're developing on the Wednesday streams. We were putting random stuff in the game, right? And we put a tractor to drive around the road, and then we were talking about okay, so who's gonna drive the tractor, right? And then it seemed like a good idea to put a chicken to drive the tractor. And so we searched for a chicken model in the browser. And one of the chickens we found is a chicken that is sitting in a school desk. And in front of it, hold on, let me just see what's the name in English. and in front of the chicken, there's a piece of paper because it's a school desk, right?
Yeah.
And the paper, there's an integral, like a calculus integral. And the chicken is solving that integral, So it is. So now we have in our game, we have a tractor being driven by a chicken sitting in a school desk, solving advanced calculus. So it's fascinating, There's a whole story behind that. I'm not sure what's the story, but there is a story behind that, And cool. And how and you can be honest. You don't have to be polite just because we're in a stream or But I want to hear your perception and your opinion about using Anything World in the game. How was the experience?
I think it's so disruptive because it's something that we're not used to, and I think that's the biggest thing. We're not used to being able to such easily get different things and different models and different ideas. So, for example, in the prototype phase, I think it's the most fun that we've had because we can think about, let's add this thing in the game. And we don't have to, either model that ourselves or, wait for the art team to deliver something or have like a temp art, like a cube situation. So I think this makes so much, happier to be able to prototype with things. And after that, once we moved to full production, the unpredictability of ideas is what made good things about working with AI. We have this like new AI wave that we're starting to have, and I think Anything World is a good first step to be able to see what are the cool things that we are able to get from anything from ideas and the actual models that we are using in the game to actually speed up production. So I think fun and like the good things about game development really shining through the tech. I think that was very evident throughout the development.
One of the other things about working with the tech that's neat is, so obviously you have the advantage of gray boxing things significantly faster. But one of the other things it lets us do is something that we wouldn't really be able to do otherwise, and that is sort of involve the player a bit more. So rather than just having a huge array of objects somewhere in the game's code that says you can use this, you can use that, we let Anything World decide what it is we're going to get. So, for example, if you type Bob, you get, or at least last time I played, I got a model of SpongeBob. Obviously, there's IP issues there. However, this is the advantage of letting the user do these things where like all this stuff is the stuff that we're pulling in comes in real time. We don't know what we're going to get. So there's that level of excitement that players can get that you couldn't really get with something that's like Typing of the Dead. You don't have that creative element to it where you do here.
Yeah, and one of the things that we could have done, for example, like in the early prototypes of other games, is like just using the tech to create the game ourselves, and then like just have a static version of that for the player, and that's cool, that's valid. But like Garrett said, when we involved the player and let them have that exciting moment that we had as prototyping devs of like, oh, so this makes me think about something else, and that's a cool idea that I can experiment. Be inspired. I think that's the greatest thing about working with Anything Works, that we were inspired all the way through.
You could pluralize cookies
Oh, right. Of
if
course.
you ever need to. You can always like you can't use the same word twice in a level, and there's a certain difficulty mode where you can't use the same word twice in an entire like run of the game. So
Oh,
it
that's
it
good.
does force you to like think a little bit more. You do tend to fall on like your personal array of words, right? Like there's certain words that some of us will use over and over again for each level, but yeah, in one of the difficulty modes, you can't even reuse it level to level. You have to come up with even more words. So
Wow,
Yeah.
that dashboard move was so perfect.
Oh, it was a dartboard. It was pretty good, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of myself in that one. Yeah.
nice.
And now I can use it. Nice.
sometimes I find like when you're struggling, it can help to think of an entire genre, like animals or land masses, like geography,
Oh.
planets. There's quite a few planets that actually work for some of the more esoteric things.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and it's good to know that there is this game mode, because I was going to ask about it, because yeah, I as you said, I caught myself just repeating word after word, and I was thinking, yeah, you know what, it would be nice to have a mode where it remembers what I written before, and don't let me repeat. So that's good to know that.
Yeah, totally. And with the base that we create, like the levels, and because they're so much fun and we can explore that in different ways, we thought about all these cool ways to explore. So we have different game modes that you can play in the game, and like challenges that you can either do it yourself, like every time, oh, let's think about planets and animals, like we did in the previous run. That also adds to the whole excitement and like the new factor of the gameplay.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, and anything you summon in a level, when you go back to the main menu, there's a little alleyway you can go into,
Oh,
and
I've
it
seen
lets
that.
you look at all of the things that you've summoned over the course of the game.
Yeah, I love that too. Like the gallery, and
Yeah.
it's something that it reminded me of Katamari, because Katamari had that when you.
Oh right, yeah, and Katamari also gives you these things where it's like you've rolled up something that's this big. That's the equivalent of 1.7 billion thumbtacks.
Ah, yeah, true, true. Yeah, that too. Oh my god.
So one of the things we did experiment with in the earlier prototyping phase is using the size of something summoned or the weight of something summoned to determine the damage that it deals. And that ended up kind of actually ruining the experience a bit, because it throws scale out the window too much. So, for example, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm trying to fight something. I summon a mouse. I'm going to summon a cat. I'm going to summon, like a log or whatever." And really, you just get the most damage by summoning the moon or something like that,
Yes.
right? Like celestial
Galaxy.
bodies
Okay.
just did so much more damage because of just the magnitude of scale. And even when we clamped that, the more we had to clamp it, the more we started being like, well, what's even the point then? If we're going to have to clamp it for balance reasons, why even take that into consideration? So we did play around with this stuff, but it's like, yeah, maybe it would depend on the game mode. Like if there was like an overkill for the boss, you summon the biggest thing you can think of.
Right.
But and then it encourages again just to fall back on the old trusty word bank that you have in your own head.
No, you know what I like. One of my favorite parts of the game is just it's just the randomness of, like killing a zombie with a bolt, and then you kill the other one with a paradise, and
Yeah.
or with a nipple, and that's
Yeah.
what I laugh so much playing this game that I kind of enjoy that, the randomness of what you can do. And there's a comment by Kuda on Twitch that says that I think this would be a good game for learning English vocabulary. You get a visual representation of the word too. Yeah, that's a good aspect as well. It's a
It
very,
Yeah,
definitely
and like-
challenges your mastery of the English
Definitely.
language as well.
definitely, for sure.
Yeah, and like as a non-English native speaker, it's kind of interesting as well to kind of force me to think outside the box. You know, like sometimes
Yeah,
I think of a word in Portuguese, and
yeah.
then I try to think about the English translation. So it's very cool because you have to do it fast,
Uh-huh.
and it forces you to have all this kind of a cool vocabulary on the go. So I really think that's a good idea in experimentation with.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say that too because I learned a lot with this game, and I would say that this game is perfect for improving typing speed too.
Oh yeah.
I'm typing very very fast now that I played this game, so
True.
that's
True.
that's incredible.
And I think it was Dan that mentioned a while ago that the good thing, one of the good things about Anything World is that you avoid the cube situation, right? And I'm a programmer. I'm not a 3D modeler. I'm far from being an artist. And to me, that's a very good description of what I think is one of the major benefits of having the browser or have the Anything World browser, is to have access to this library of models that you can simply plop into your game and have something that is not a cube. You know, that's to me that's great. I I I cannot draw a stickman for the life of me, so to me that's super
And it's
beneficial.
also fun. You know, I think that's the biggest
Yeah,
advantage. When we have fun, when we're developing, think about the crazy things that we
yeah,
come up with great game ideas as well. For example, like we started with cubes, like Jay mentioned, oh, let's make a game. I'll make cubes. And then like, oh, I have so many cubes, I don't know what's what. So I do like spheres, and then like I do cones, and then you're out of shapes, and then have to doing like colored cubes, and then you're out of colors, and then you have no idea how to go on, right? So being able to quickly browse the library with like anything that you can come up with in your game and just put that in the game super fast. And one of the great things, like Garrett said, of showing off that the tool is real time, like you play the game and type the word and you get a model, you can use that in the dev as well to real time have ideas. And it's a very a new thing that we're still kind of coming up with ideas about how to use that in production, how to experiment, because there's so much possibilities there. And this game is a cool way that we kind of got a little bit of into that spirit of using this tech to create awesome projects.
It also informs some of the visual design as well. So, like, we're thinking, like, well, we need to do a boss. So, what are we going to do? And we're just browsing different models. You type something, you just start looking at a bunch of different things. That inspires you to type something else. You see even more things, and then we're like, okay, well, why don't we just have like a hot dog food truck that you have to defend? You know, and so it's like by having this just barrage of things to look at, you start thinking like, what do I want to do with this? What can we do that is different from, like a conventional design?
Yeah, so I want to ask Lucas a question. Like, how did he come up with the boss that is like the fish, the brain in with the fish there? That was like one of these anything ideas.
I think I just let my brain work, and I did not interfere in what he created. I just let it came out of me, just a creative uh, splash.
It was so cool. Like the fish was a nice touch.
it was, and
I like the fish. I love the fish.
and the match being triggered. It's a beautiful boss. It is. So right now, in a short span of time, I kill zombies with a moon, a massive log of wood, and a doll. So that's. I mean, this is living the life. So what from what you played around within the development game, what was the model that you've seen that was your absolute favorite?
Personally, I think my favorite model, which you can't use here because it requires a G, is trouble. You type in trouble, and then you get something that is. It might be what you're expecting, but it also might not. Try Guardian for this one.
Oh, Guardian, nice.
Does that
Thank
work?
you. It is.
Oh, it's a dog, a guard
Oh,
dog.
nice one.
I remember in early prototyping phases, when we were still trying other ideas, I remember typing, I want to say it was Soldier, and it gave me Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. And I'm like, okay, that kind of works, Like, technically, Soldier, I mean, he wasn't really. It's just fun to see things like that just pop up.
There you go. Starting with
Try
J.
javelin.
Ooh,
Oh, javelin.
Nice. Ah,
Oh, what about you got jar?
jar.
I wonder if Girati would work.
I love jellyfish. We can throw jellyfish.
Oh, jellyfish.
nice
That's a good
one.
one. Sea.
C.
You get a big body of water.
Oh.
Oh, it was too close. I
It was
don't
too
know where it went.
Oh, I haven't followed this path yet.
Yeah, so the levels will have the occasional branch in it, and it'll be like, I go left or I go right. I love that. Oh, you typed butt or butter?
Butter.
If you type butt,
There you go.
this is another good one. Oh wait, what is that? Cigarette butt? I was actually expecting a peach because if you type certain euphemisms for posterior, you'll get a peach.
Yeah, I think I got a massive cigarette butt. No, there it is. Yeah, it's a cigarette butt. Oh well. Yeah, and what about the game? What about your favorite part of the game? My favorite part is the fish brain with massive matches. That to me is beautiful.
I feel so glad to hear that. That's completely my idea. So thanks.
It was like, let's come up with the most absurd things that we can, and that won the list, number one.
Neptune. Try summoning Neptune. You might get a
Neptune.
planet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
yeah.
like an underwater sea gunship. Darn. I know if you
Have you tried
type
nothing?
nice. Nothing. Try nothing. Nice gives you, I think, a robot. I don't really know why. It's one of those. That's one of my fallback words. Is nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
work.
there's a couple of things that I would argue are among my favorite. One is dynamic, so it's not something you can really like deliberately reproduce, and that's when you're in like the middle of a battle, and then just stuff just runs by, and you're like, well, okay, I don't know why you think that's the right direction to go, but you do you. The other thing is in the boss fights that take longer because like there's more things to shoot at. By the end of it, it's just littered with like bodies and condiments and food items and creatures and
It is the
land
apocalypse after all,
masses.
you know. That's how the apocalypse is like. It has everything that you can imagine.
Oh my god.
Eel.
Yo, that was a good one. 7 letters that contain N.
L and N. Landmass.
Nice.
Because if you type oh what, that was nice. I don't know if this will work. That's how dang.
Oh.
Lantern. There you go.
Lizard.
Lizard, yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh,
if
nice
you
one.
have a word that satisfies multiple prompts, you will kill every zombie that uses that prompt.
Yeah, I noticed
And
that.
so sometimes you can, so like people who are particularly good at the English
Oh,
language.
can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but the messages, like the message bars, like these ones, that you have.
Yarn.
Oh my god. Okay, I gotta pause. Because like you had the sign on the left that said these things aren't very sturdy, and then you had the canal something, and you could. My brain just goes straight to reading the first line, then the second line. So I read like these things the canal, and then something, and it makes no
Oh, the
sense.
whole, the first line.
Oh,
Yeah. Just like The Walking Dead. Don't dad open inside. Is it?
This is an unsolved problem in
don't add open
science
side.
design.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if it is intentional or it was a homage to The Walking Dead.
I have not actually seen The Walking Dead,
Oh yeah. Oh, it's.
but I was the one who put these barricades everywhere.
Yeah, because so one of the first scenes of The Walking Dead. So there's like this double door on the hospital, and on the left door it is painted "Don't open," and on the right door it said "Dead inside." But if you read the first line, it says "Don't dead," and then the second line
Open inside.
Yeah. So I saw the barricades and I thought, okay, this is a zombie game. It's like the thing. I thought it was a.
Yeah, but I was like, these barricades are perfect because they have like a line in between the two lines.
Yeah.
But then you brought up another ambiguity. It was like between barricades, there's no line, right? So you caught me off guard there because I was happy with this barricade, the way that it split the lines. But I suppose it wasn't.
Yeah, but I love the barricade messages. They are not entirely like they're in tone with the game. If you know what I
That's
mean.
that's another thing that's actually one of my absolute favorite things about working on this game is it is an inherently silly game, which means nobody's going to say like, "Oh no, 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 that's not in tune with the spirit of the game." The other thing is because it's such an English-focused game, due to the fact that you're summoning whatever it is you just summoned, um,
Oh,
we
look at
don't
the
have to
duck.
localize it, and that also means that we don't really have to have a process for what goes in vocabulary wise. So I pretty much just wrote whatever I wanted, and there was a lot of freedom in that. And so that's why you get all of these silly messages everywhere on these barricades and stuff. Is I just wrote whatever I felt like writing at the time. Like this one, um, down the canal here, I really like. It just says, "If I die, oh well."
Exactly. It's Oh, this is my favorite because I'm very good with the banana blade prompts. That's one. That's
Oh,
what I like.
Lucas, how did you come up with the banana zuka?
Oh, that's amazing because the Bananazukas, the bananas used to be the default projectiles for testing. So why not having a weapon that shoots testing projectiles? So this leads to the Bananazuka idea. So it just was a testing stuff that came to be a feature for the game. This is amazing.
That's pretty good. That's right. I really liked it. Oh, this is another message like left uptown, right uptown.
Oh,
Yes.
I have a fun fact like that I want to share. Did you notice this burp sound that happens when you shoot?
The what?
It's
The
kind of
burp.
burp sound.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, this is literally the first sign, the sound that I put in the game, and no one said that it was bad, so I never removed it.
It didn't
Like a
feel
temp
out of
thing,
place.
a temp sound that ended up in the final game.
And I love it.
There you go.
I thought you were gonna say, Lucas, that you recorded it yourself. That was the
No,
case.
no, it was Dan recording it.
Yes,
I just uploaded.
And you know what? It fits very nicely again with
it's
the
because of the
content.
time
Yeah, I
zone.
know.
I talked with the guys from Choice right after lunch. So it was adequate.
Mouse. Mickey Mouse. I don't know what Mickey Mouse would
Oh, a
actually get you.
micro. Oh, that was a good one though.
Or microscope.
Oh, nice one, Micros.
Or Microsoft.
Mi-
Oh,
Oh my god.
There you go.
quickly or you're done. There you go. You got a microscope. And a barrel.
Oh my god. Nice.
Is he gonna survive to the end of the level?
I have two hit points. I think I will. Oh my god, starting with D. Nice.
I like to throw moss.
Pass.
Pass. Yeah, it's just like no
Like
thanks.
a mountain.
Yeah, mountain pass.
Yes,
exactly.
that was so funny.
Oh, I like this part too with the wall that you have to break the wall. I really
Yeah,
like
this is another. It's another example of it'll shoot whatever you've summoned. So this is another good level where, if you've just summoned like living things or the most chaotic things that you can come up with, then that's it. For some reason, it's pulling up that magnifying glass a lot or that microscope, but
Oh my god.
it'll just shoot whatever you have, and then the poop got stuck to the wall.
Lucas, tell us about how the zombies fall and why.
I just love it. I love the silliness of the game. So how much silly the game could be, I like it the most. So I tend to do these things. It's how my brain works.
Oh, now I
We were talking
realized.
about a parachute.
So,
It was
so,
even better.
Yeah, we didn't have parachute model, so I had to improvise about that. So what's better than a parachute? I
These
think you know
Mary
the answer.
Poppins zombies.
It's Mary Poppins zombies.
Yeah.
Zombies, yeah. So only now I noticed because I used Dynamo. I used Dynamo a few times already, and I never realized it. It kind of looked like a donut, but it's like a virtual pet. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, you had like a Tamagotchi
Yeah.
for some reason.
Exactly. The animal is a Tamagotchi. It's a virtual pet. how did I got a seahorse? I don't remember how. I mean,
C. Oh, if you type C, that's what it is.
oh really? Oh, okay.
You get a seahorse, yeah.
Yeah. I got a seahorse.
And
I
apparently
always.
it has its own little animations and behaviors because it's just bobbing up and down there.
Yeah, it does. It's one of the animated animals. Is a seahorse. So, we somebody I can't recall who mentioned AI, right, in the AI usage, right? And it's a contentious topic within game development. And when I talk with developers as 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 an anything world representative, I'm always very try to be understanding about the concerns and the issues that developers have with AI being used in creative industry in general and game development in specific, right? Uh, the way I like to frame it is that I feel like what we are doing here in Anything World is very similar to what a game engine does when it provides you with a physics engine or a lighting system. It provides you with a tool that saves you time in order for you to focus on the fun part, on the interesting part of your game, right? If you're a programmer, you you should be concerned about making your gameplay fun and engaging, not with creating a lighting system for your game. And I feel like what we offer with the browser and the rigging system, I feel like it's very similar. You know, as Dan mentioned, you go past the cube stage of your prototyping, and with rigging, you don't have to work on rigging your 3D models. You can concern about making nice and creative and interesting animations. Uh, but again, I understand the concerns. I understand people being very very wary of AI in game development. But I wanted to hear, my perspective is very different because I don't work directly with production like you guys do. So I wanted to hear from you. I wanted to hear your perspective and an opinion about AI in game development.
I think that overall is such a broad topic that it's hard to pinpoint a specific thing. For example, AI has been for a long time helping things. For example, programming and like database search and things like that. Like if you write like a fuzzy algorithm or like a way to test your code through a random data set, and like is that AI and what constitutes that? So I think it's hard to draw a line because things have been useful. Like you program tools to help you, right? So anything world is an awesome tool that you guys are programming to help the game development. So that line's a bit blurry on my view. For example, like people say like generative AI, and maybe there's like copyright issues and things like that, but I don't think that that's the case. I think it's mostly concerning uh, the things that you use in the game and create yourself. For example, anything world, this awesome idea of rigging models and animating models without doing the manual work. I think that's what really shines. And I don't think, at least on our side, there's any particular concern about uh, taking away things from game development. I think this adds a whole bunch of like creativity. This adds joy and fun. So I think that's kind of the overall my idea, and it's such a large topic that's hard to pinpoint a specific thing, for example, about the whole thing. But overall, Anything World is making an awesome use of AI, and I think it was like our first contact with AI in our production, so to speak. And I think being able to use that and experimenting makes me super happy and like make me want to explore other situations as well.
Yeah, Dan raises a good point about AI kind of already being in programming. Like I've been using IntelliSense for like 8 years or whatever, and so anybody unfamiliar with what that means, IntelliSense is when you're writing code, you don't have to necessarily remember every function name, every function like set of parameters, variable name, stuff like that. You don't have to have everything memorized. You start typing something, and it'll essentially autocomplete things for you. Um, and so like I'm using stuff like that, which is arguably an element of AI. The other thing with this, anything animates anything, the AI, it's I think that is different than what most people think of in AI because it is generative in a sense, but it's not like there's no creative component to it. It's here's a model, we're doing work for you, so then you can utilize it in other applications versus, oh, we used AI to generate all of the, we have all these paintings hanging up on our walls in the game, and then we use AI to generate all that art. Well, that's different because then there's a creative expression created by a machine, and I think that's the stuff that people are very much testy about. So it's you walk that line between this helps me then make a thing versus I let the computer make this thing for me, and then I pass this thing as my thing. So it's a little disingenuous in that scenario. Whereas I think just as long as we use these tools to make our work shine more, it's something different. And that's where we've been using Anything World. Now, Animate Anything, kind of wish we, it was, so when we were building this, Animate Anything wasn't far enough along to really be exercised. So all of these animations are done by Lucas and I. And it shows because they're not that great. But there's a charm to it. It's consistent with the rest of it, and that makes me wonder if Animate Anything was further along in development, and we got these nicely rigged models and these nicely animated characters, would some of that humor go away? Like that scratch animation, I made that using whatever rig the model had, and I just kind of I wanted to do a bite, and I'm like, I don't know how to work the mouth for all these different creatures, so I'm just going to do a scratch instead because it's just easier for me. So that's why, like you see, times you've been bitten at the end of a level, but you don't get bitten in this; you get scratched because animating a bite is a lot harder than animating a scratch. So we have the scratch instead, and that is a result of me doing the animation rather than an AI doing it. So is the game better off for it, or would the game have been better suited to higher fidelity animations and rigs and stuff? I don't honestly know.
But
As a player, I feel like it is.
and I think you raised a good point, Gary. Like, Animate Anything is such another awesome tech that has to do with this whole like, let's make game development more cool and more fun and better as a whole. That we were super excited to maybe do a project with that and jump in as well, because we could not jump for this particular project because, as Gary said, it was a bit early in the development. But like, it's another super exciting thing that we can experiment and see what cool things we can come up by integrating that in the actual production.
Yeah, I think that Garrett touched on the keyword, and which is the oh, I died, which is the creative aspect of the whole process, right? Which is again, I think it's the part that I want to make very clear that we are not looking to oh my god, hold on. There you go.
Oh, that was a good
Oh,
one.
nice.
I'm learning. I'm getting new tools in my toolkit for the next time I play this game.
Yeah,
Because there's a few letters that are just tricky.
I know. Starting with you, it's murder. I'll let you know. This is not a Roblox game. This is a game that is available on Steam. Oh my god. I was going to type pots, and I typed PTS, and it worked. I don't know what was PTS.
I don't know. Is it like an acronym for or a short form for points? Maybe. Like I don't know what it was interpreting that as.
So yeah, Eleni. So this game is available on Steam right now. Oh no.
Ending. Oh no.
Yes.
I think Jay threw my camera at the zombies because it's no longer working. Have you typed camera, Jay?
What's that? Sorry.
Have you typed camera to throw
Oh,
against the
camera.
zombies? Because my camera
Lucas
is no longer
camera.
working.
No, I haven't. I don't remember what I typed. What?
Whoa! Something's gone wrong.
Wow. Yeah.
You just did a sequence break, and now all the zombies are chasing you from behind.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I died. Yeah. So we are approaching 1 hour. So I want to wrap up with one last question, a little bit off topic. Okay, there you go.
Oh, nice one, and he got up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
fun.
what besides besides making games, what? Oh, that looks nice. What games have you guys been playing recently, and what is your game of the year?
Huh. Okay, so let me start off. So I am playing, and I'm a little bit late on that bandwagon, but I'm playing Evo Land. I don't know if you guys heard of this game. It's an indie game. It's an like an adventure, action adventure game that goes through the whole kind of a history of game graphics. So you start out with an 8-bit, kind of Zelda-like, then it goes 16-bit, then it goes like full 3D. So it's a pretty cool RPG, action RPG adventure uh, from Sure Games. So that was a pretty cool game that I'm playing. Game of the year, that's an easy one. It has to be Baldur's Gate 3. Simply because it's such inspiring to see kind of the history and the story behind the development of the game and like the 20 years of them making games, making RPGs and making them greater and better and bigger and getting to that point at being a AAA game. So certainly, for being inspiring and for delivering such a cool product that respects players and so on. So super excited on that front as well.
What was the name of the game again? Evil Land?
Evo Land, like
Yeah,
evolution.
Evo.
Ah,
Yeah,
Evil. Okay, I gotta check it out. And I haven't heard about it.
It's super cool. It's a little indie game, but like it started off a company that's really now doing a lot of hit successes. So it's exciting as well.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. What about you, Lucas?
I think my favorite game of the year is Satisfactory. Do you know Satisfactory? I love
Yes,
this
yes.
I
kind
do.
of
Yeah.
Mario games. It's my favorite ever.
And your game here, your favorite game this year.
Are you still playing that? I think Lucas has been playing all Satisfactory all year long.
Okay.
That's his
Yeah.
So
game of
it's
the year.
same answer, same answer. And you, Gareth, what
Okay.
about you?
Yeah, so I'm currently playing Path of Exile again because every 3 to 4 months
Nice.
they add an update to that. I'm also playing Final Fantasy 16 with the wife, and I'm playing EDF 5 again, which is another silly game that involves shooting a lot of very large monsters. Game of the year, I don't know what actually came out specifically in 2023 that I played that I was like super into, but I'm a year or so late on Elden Ring, and I played through that this year, and I had a very good time with it.
Very nice. On my side, right now I'm playing High on Life, which is the
It's
I haven't played that yet.
It's the Squanch
Yes.
games. So it's remarkably similar to Metroid Prime in a lot of ways.
you know what? It is. But I'm having
Like from a design philosophy.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a very the game is it's funny, but it's also it's pretty good. It's a very competent first person shooter. And my game of the year is Baldur's Gate. Even though I kind of gave up in the end of Act 2, but I need to get back to it. I died again. Damn it. Just because
Well, you can see your character running around still.
I didn't notice that. It's just because
Yeah,
I think
he's just cruising.
like Dan said, it's such a well crafted game, right? With a whole bunch of moving parts that work so well together that it's quite amazing. It's quite a feat. I'm totally impressed. And having played, Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2, a huge fan of both. My concern with Baldur's Gate 3 was the same concern I had when Fallout 3 was announced. It was like, will this translate well? To this new era, and I feel like Fallout 3 kind of fell short, even though New Vegas is spectacular. But Baldur's Gate 3 is quite something. It's amazing. It is by far my favorite game this year. Well, it's been an hour. So
Well, that hours was so fast. I gotta say, I didn't see that
that's
coming
great.
so so
I
quickly.
honestly hope you guys had fun. I sure did. I always like, you know, yesterday. So as I said, we make a game development stream on Wednesdays, and the stream yesterday was a nightmare because I managed to break the game in every way conceivable. Like everything was working in the beginning of the stream, and literally nothing was working at the end of the stream. So it was. I don't know what I did, and I spent the day today trying to fix stuff up. I fixed some, but some things are still broken. I need to figure that out.
You
But
know, when that happens, I like to think that expression. You don't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
exactly.
So I think about the game as eggs.
But
Then
that's
we
the
break
thing.
the whole game. And it's like it's part of the omelet.
But the
You can
thing,
make a game without breaking a game.
You
yeah.
can exactly.
But the thing is, I feel like I set the kitchen on fire yesterday.
That just means you'll be able to cook the eggs when you're ready to make your omelet.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I mean, among the charred remains of the kitchen, there is an omelet. Guys, I hope you had fun. I sure did. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the game. I sincerely love it. It's so much fun. I will continue to play it a lot. If not for anything else, just to open all the other models that are available, just to have fun with it. Thank you so much. Thanks again. And I will end by switching the screen. Yeah. God damn it, that
Uh
was muted.
oh.
That's the worst. Okay, I'm going to go back. There you go. Now it's better. Okay, great. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining. You have my email here, j at anything world. Linktree. You have my Twitter, anything world YouTube, social medias, our Discord server, and you can find that all on the QR code as well. Next week on Wednesday we'll have the Seagull game stream. I invite you all to join. And thank you so much. And thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Garrett. I really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the game. And I see you all next week. Bye bye.